Uh, Better if I put the helmet, no? Hello, everybody. Hello, Tish. Hello, Hinger. Happy birthday, Cynthia. Cool. Bonjour. How are you, all of you? Hello, Suzanne. Hello, Lean. Loud and clear. Perfect. It's a beautiful sunny day. Which is even too hot to be in Père Lachaise because it's climbing, so it's tiring. So, uh, great way to spend your birthday. Yes. I hope you're going to have many, many others. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm back from Norway. I have to put the pictures on Instagram. I didn't have time to put the pictures so far. I've been so busy, but all good. And so now I'm in Père Lachaise, and we're going to have the tour today in Père Lachaise. It's a long time I haven't been here, but well, hello, Stefan. In fact, it hasn't changed. The grapes are still there. Nothing, nothing so different. But the first one I wanted to show you, it's under renovation. But we will see just through the scaffolding. It's just pity because it's like that. So hello to all of you. If some of you are new with me, my name is Patrick, and I'm your tour guide. And I read your mail, Suzanne. I don't know if I re respond to it. Also, Stephen, about the World War II and from Benjamin Franklin. You said two. You sent two, sorry. And so yes, I'm going to speak a little bit about the history of the Père Lachaise. As I said, some of you are new with me. My name is Patrick, and a tour guide in Paris, and I'm very happy to be with you today. So, do we have some newcomers, or because I see some names that I know very, very well, and do we have some people which are new? If they are, they can say hello and give their name so like that I could recognize them. Don't be too shy. I'm not going to do anything with that. So, nobody especially news. First, Patrick Canada, then my five singers, Patrick, and now Patrick. Thank you for them, Tish. Oh, hello, Nishi. Since Hego, wow, that's quite a while, no? It's more than 1 year. Hey, Madeline, yes, I know you too. Hey, Gail. Yeah, Hego, we stopped with April, no? So it's a bit more than 1 year. So long time ago. So, my friends, I'm going to start. So, just quick explanation about the cemetery in case you forgot, because I did sometimes this tour when I was on Hego or Beams. So, the Père Lachaise, it's a mount since Beams, absolutely, Madeleine. So, on Beams was stopping in February or something like that. So, it's more than 1 year now. Hello, Christopher. No, this is the anniversary, and it's going to be so busy with. I will be close because I will be in Brittany, and I will do a tour on the 7th, but it will be in Brittany. And but this year, Macron and many presidents and people go for the birthday, so it's going to be very, very crowded as it's the 80s. I mean the anniversary, so it's a bit a lot of people over there. So what was I saying? Yes, I was saying about the cemetery. It's a hill. In fact, it has been used always, I mean always, till it becomes a cemetery, as a private location. Long time ago, in the Middle Age, we already have got a house here. And then, many years after that, during the reign of Louis the 15th, this place is going to be a place where we have got the Jesuits. the Jesuits, you know, the Company of Jesus, they are monk, which wants to preach the world, the words of God, of the Lord, all over the world. It's a lot of words, Lord, world. So it was too much for me. I would mix all of them, but you get what I mean. So they were going all over the world to to bring the words of God and the Lord. But they have got a house here, a big monastery in Paris, and the most famous of all of them was named Père, Father Lachaise. And he was the confessor of the King Louis the 14th. So he was a very important man because the king was telling him all the bad things he did, and then the confessor was telling him how he has to react from that. So, he was quite influencing the politics of France. And when that man died, after his death, the place where he lives, the castle which was there, is going to be later on destroyed. And finally, Napoleon, the first, in the beginning of the 1800s, is going to make a very important decision. He's going to say that everybody in France has the right to be buried normally. It sounds quite crazy what I said, but at that time, if you were an artist like Molière before, you couldn't be buried because, I mean, not buried with all the normal ceremonies because they were considered to be like a not a normal person. If you were a Jew, if you were a Protestant, if you were a gypsy, well, there is a lot of people who couldn't be buried in the cemeteries in Paris. And Napoleon the First is going to decide that we have to be equal, so everybody can be buried in the same location. That's going to be a big change because after that, we're going to open for the first time four cemeteries in the neighborhood of Paris, at the north, at the west, at the east, and at the south. And this is the cemetery of the east. Well, in fact, they were not really, hello Agatha, they were not really buried. They were not, they were, I mean, they were buried, but they were not in a land which were consecrated by the church or any religion. It's been, for instance, the Jews, they were a little bit spread in place that they have to pay for. And that somebody said, okay, you can be buried in my land. But it wasn't considered as a proper cemetery. And there were many buried in the north of Paris. Mm. But the same, Molière, he's going to be buried out of Paris and has no any ceremonies. And later on, he's going to be bring in that cemetery. Absolutely. So Napoleon said everybody has got the same right, so he decided to create these four cemeteries. The one from the east is this one. But after 20 years of use, that cemetery got only 45 graves. You can imagine 45 graves. Look how it is nowadays. It's covered by graves, okay? But at that time, only 45 graves. Why only 45 graves? Because nobody wanted to be buried here, because this is a mount. So it's not convenient, When you want to come here and to pay a visit to somebody who is buried here, then you have to climb the mount. And when it's winter and when it's snowing or when it's freezing, very often the cemetery is closed for the simple reason it's very dangerous because you can't sleep because there is no really side. I mean, there is no sidewalk, of course, but I mean, most of the place are like that in earth. So it can be muddy, it can be slippery if it's icy, and if it's windy, we have got so many trees that the branch are falling down and you can receive it on your head. So nobody wanted to be buried here. But we are going to transfer the tomb of two very important persons, Molière and La Fontaine, and also about these two one here that have got their grave, which is right now renovated, which are, so I can't, behind the scaffolding, you've got the grave. Okay, this is the famous grave of Eloise and Abelard, that couple of people who were, I tried to show you, there's here a portrait of Eloise. Where it is here. It's not very well seen, but you can see one part here and the other one is over there. And normally you can see the grave, but you see they hide it they hid the two graves, the gisants, because of the renovation. And it's a huge building which has been built for Héloïse and Abella. And this couple, Héloïse and Abella, was very, very famous. It was a couple of people who, the man was a priest, and the girl was a young girl, and that priest was in fact his teacher. And he teach her more than only mathematics and theology. He also teach her how to have love with a man. And she got pregnant. But they were really in love, so they decided to flee away. And she got the baby in Brittany. But the father of the young girl was so angry that he sent two killsmen to kill them. But finally, they decided not to kill them because it was a priest. So they cut the part of the priest that, like that, he will never again do what he did. You understand which part of the body I mean, of course, the manhood. And then he brought back the girl to Paris, and the girl has to stay into a monastery. The monk stayed also in the monastery, and after the death of the father, and after the death of the girl, the monk was already dead, and they brought the dead body of the monk next to the dead body of the girl. So in fact, uh, they recreated the couple in their death, and they were very, very famous at that time. So that's why they proposed to bring them to here. And you see the big grave you've got over there with the scaffolding because they renovated it is about them. So very famous grave. And so these two people, as soon as they arrive here, that's going to be incredible. Yeah, that was. And as soon as they arrive here, in fact, with Molière on La Fontaine, many people wants to come to the cemetery. Many people, because uh, lying by Molière or by La Fontaine, it's better than just lying by a normal tree. So due to that, many people are going to ask to be buried here. And from 45, in just 2 or 3 years, we're going to arrive to more than 3,000 graves. So you see, it's a huge expansion. And nowadays, the cemeteries has got more or less 70,000 people which are either buried or incinerated. So we have got a huge place for the people who are incinerated, and the rest are all graves. So the graves are all from different ages. You see, this one, for instance, it's quite new because the person have been buried here. The earliest one has been buried in 2012. So you see, it's quite new. But you pass from you see new grave, and you just turn yourself, and you see the other side, you find very old graves. And some of the graves, they are not anymore looked by anybody. So it means nobody is taking care of the graves. But as they bought the graveyard for the perpetuity, it means forever. In fact, the graves are just like that. They just stay like that. Hello, Dilos. Yes, I can imagine it's early morning. Sorry for that. So you see, these graves, nobody take care of them. So bit by bit, they are collapsing. You see, look, that one, poof, the stone with the name fell down, and you see the grave is nearly opening. And as nobody took care of them, once or late, the grave is going to return to nature. And at that time, only at that time, the people from the cemetery are going to take out the grave, and then they are going to replace it by a new place for new people. So you see, when I walk here, you find places which are like, you see, you are like I don't know how I say, like in a jungle, no? You're in the middle of the trees and the middle of the graves. And you see, like this one, just have got, and here it's completely already the nature. So that's why the cemetery is never full, in fact, because we have got always graves which are going to be taken out because there is nothing left, and they took the rest of the body and they put into a common graveyard, which is the place where everybody is buried if they don't have any more people who look after them. So we don't throw away, of course, the dead body, but we you see, look, for instance, here you see there is one room which is ready for somebody new. Okay, so you see they just put a plaque, and they're going to wet, and they're going to replace that very old part by a new grave in the middle of the old one. See here, there is one here. Just stay. See, just stay. Nothing left nearly. Okay, just that left. All the rest have disappeared. Anyway, so that's how the cemetery. Okay, so you've got and you also have got grave of rich people, which are just next to the grave of completely unknown people. Everybody is equal in the death here in the cemetery, and everybody is equal also in terms of religion. You know, there is not a grave which is a regent which is more important. So everybody is mixed together. You can have some Jewish people, you can have some Muslim people, you can have some Christian people, you can have some Roman Catholic people, you can have some non-religious people. You know, there is no, there is nothing. Everybody is together. And we can see here in a couple of minutes, if I take the wrong if I take the wrong alley, we won't arrive to it. Let me see. Am I taking the wrong alley? Under the cemetery is it is like a maze, and even if I know it very well, sometimes even myself I take the wrong alley. So I think I took the wrong alley. So yes, I took the wrong alley. I have to come back a little bit down. I'm going to show you now a grave of somebody who is very, very famous. Ooh, one of the most famous grave in the cemetery. And I'm sure you all know about this grave. He's a musical composer, classical musical composer, and his body has been, I mean, his heart has been separated. Yes, there is ghost, absolutely. Yes, yes, absolutely. There's people who come here and try to be locked at night. Yes, Chopin, absolutely, Satyam. Hello, Satyam, who try to be locked at night, and they try to find if there is no some supernatural things which are happening by night. And of course, some people after that have got incredible story, having seen walking a lady in white, or have seen some kind of, many stories about that. But of course, when you see a grave like that, which is open, you think, I don't feel like sleeping on that grave by night because a part of that, it may be a little bit risky for me. So yes, 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 Satyam, sorry. I was making Satyam because I was going to say Chopin. Yes, Satyam, absolutely Chopin, this famous Polish composer. In fact, he has got his heart, which is stayed in Warsaw, and his body in Paris. You know, he had got a kind of obsession. He said, I absolutely don't want to be buried alive. What's happened if people think I'm dead, but I'm not dead? They're going to put me in a coffin, and then they're going to bury me, and then I'm going to die for days and days and days. So to avoid that, he said, the day the doctor said I'm dead, then they take out my heart from my body. So like that, I'm sure I'm really dead. And then they bring my heart to Warsaw because I'm half French, half Polish. So this is the grave. We are just by the upper side. So let's go down. I just be careful not to fall down because I don't want to stay in the cemetery. You see, you've got a Polish flag here because, as I said, he was Polish. Opla. And so you see, this is the grave of Frédéric Chopin. And he has got a muse. You see that the lady is a muse, which is representing the music, and she has got the statue. I mean, of which is above the grave. It's a muse representing the music, and you see she has got a kind of little harp in her hand. And here you've got the side face, the profile of Frédéric Chopin, who died the 17th of October 1849. And you see the grave is always quite decorated because it has got people, I mean, from Poland or from the Polish administration, which come to put some always some decoration with the Polish flag. And just next to Chopin, you've got another one who is famous because he's always having flowers in his hand, never the same flowers, never the same, you see, and everybody bring to him flowers. He's very, very famous name too. You don't know him so much, but I'm sure if you've been to Paris and if you've been to the Louvre, you should know him because his name is Denon. And Denon was a curator of the Louvre, and he gave his name to one of the three entrances of the Louvre. When you enter in the Museum of the Louvre, you can enter by Sully, by Richelieu, or by Denon. And that's the name of this man, which is a bronze statue, well known for being the man with the flower. So we carry on, and you see, as I said, the cemetery is it's a little hill. So we always are up and down, and you see here we can see the cemetery a little bit from a high position. And as you can see, the cemetery is like a forest because there is big trees, very, very big trees. Look, look. When I say big, I say tall. I'm not lying. See, really, really high, very, very big trees. And so it's also very calm when I don't speak. It's also very calm in the cemetery. And lots of people come there like if they were coming to a green park, because there is part of the cemetery which have got green space with bench where you can sit, read, talk. And so lots of people come here and it's not at all unrespectful, they just respect perfectly the cemetery, but they just they just stay there because it's calm and quite nice. And you see also that's quite interesting. You can see that the trees that I've just spoken about, they have got the roots. On the roots of the trees are going to uh, break the other grapes. You see, the roots pull up the stone of the grapes. So you see, the nature is show also some kind of ironic things to say the nature is always the most yeah, there's kind of wildlife because there is some wild animals. So you're not going to meet a tiger or a lion, neither an elephant, but you could meet some fox, or you could meet some, or you are going to see also a lot of cats, and you may see also a lot of oh God, how do you call these black birds? Uh, the sparrow? No, not the sparrow. The long beak with the black bird. They have got big one in the Tower of London. The ravens, yes, ravens. Thank you. Yes, the ravens, like the NFL team, or crow, maybe ravens or crow. Well, I don't know. Maybe crow. Well, both. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust for Gravestone too. Absolutely. So we're going to see now the grave of the most visited grave in that cemetery. It's not the one we have seen so far. These one are important because they brought Eloise and Abelard like Molière and sorry, like Molière and La Fontaine brought the history to the cemetery. But there's another one who is the most visited one, which is so important. Yes, Natalie, absolutely, Jim Morrison. So we're going to have a look to his grave, and you see here it said on the graveyard concession. Concession, this is a graveyard, à perpétuité. So it means for not lifetime, but for forever. So it has got a number. So I mean, if you bought that, now you can't buy anymore. Now you only can buy for 100 years, and then you have to rebuy for another 100 years. But at that time, you could buy forever. So you see, for instance, here, the people here, you see, have been buried at the origin of the cemetery. You see, September 1825, 1839, 1862, 1865, 1881, uh, 2020, 1911, sorry, 1920, 1939, 1954, and 1962. and so it's called either it's people from the nobility called the Count of the Fossé. And so see, lots of people are buried here. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 people. So also think that the cemetery is not what you see outside. It's not the place to bury. It's a decoration. In fact, they make a hole and they put the whole bodies in the hole. So here you've got underneath that you've got a big hole going quite deep. That's why also it's interesting in Summon because you can dig deep, and they have got 10 person, five from both sides in this graveyard. And you see, they have got that for forever. So nobody's going to take it. So all what you see here, this little house, it's not a place where you have got the grave directly inside, But if you look inside, oh, be careful where you put your eyes. You see there is a little altar. You see the altar, and at the bottom place you can see, but at the bottom place there is a piece of stone, and you take out the piece of stone and then you go. I mean, you don't go down, but you could go down because there is a tunnel where they put the graveyard. So some people put some hello, Cheryl. So some people you see put a big decoration, quite a huge decoration. So this is the only things for what the people are not, if I can say, equal with this. The poorest one just have got just a simple stone. The richest one can build a little castle above their house. Above their house. Oh, you see the raven of the crow over there that we just spoken about? You see, quite big one, no? I don't want to be attacked by them. And you see the people are sitting on the bench and taking a little rest. That cemetery is the most epic, absolutely. That cemetery is the most visited cemetery in the world. There is every year nearly 3 million people who comes in the cemetery. Some, of course, to visit families or relatives, but most of them come here because of the famous grave we've got inside. So it's not at all. It's more than a cemetery, It's like a museum, and 2.5. I mean, 2.5 million is the minimum. It's between 2.5 and 3 million people every year. So quite a lot. And some of the graves are new and very also very moving. In 2015, we had the terror attack in the Bataclan, and a lot of young kids have been killed that day by a terrorist attack. And you see, this is one of them. See, she's named Susan Garrigue, and she born in 1994, like my oldest son, in fact. So she would have the same age as my oldest son, but unfortunately for her, she died in 2015. So she died at the age of 21, and she's buried here. And you see, it said that she has been killed in the Bataclan, the 13th of November 2015 by a terror attack. Just killed because these crazy people just thought it was things to do, and they came with a machine gun and they start shooting all the people which were at the concert over there. Anyway, it's a cemetery, so it's not a place of fun, isn't it? And so now we're going to arrive to the very, very, very famous grave of Jim Morrison. Aha. So that's where also we have got the most of the people. There's always many people to come here. And the people can't leave always a little tribute to the grave. So they put, since long time, a tradition of putting the gums, the trim gums. You see, there's a tree here, and it's covered by trim gums. Also, the tradition is to bring a bottle of alcohol and to sit by the grave and to have a drink, to say like a cheers to Jim Morrison, who was not the last one to get a drink and to get an alcoholic drink. You see that all the trim gums for the people who came and who leave a tribute to Jim Morrison. Yes, it's a gum tree. Look, there's a lady who is singing. Two ladies which were dancing over there. And so every time they put a new, this is a grave over there. Okay, you see James Douglas Morrison died in 1970. Of course, the singers from the Doors, and you see there is always tribute. So there is fence around it. The people climb the fence and they put the different little tribute to him. So lots of different, and it's never the same. Okay, pictures, flowers, a painting that somebody did. So you always have got something new. And for the people, it's just from the from the 60s who were you were young adult in the 70s. It's of course a kind of very important icon. So I didn't see what you say, Tish, but I think it was important. So I just go on the side. Sorry. And as you see, I told you people have a drink to Morrison. So you see, so he's going to get a little drink to Jim Morrison. You see. So he pretends it's Badois, but it's not Badois. And you give a little cheers to Jim Morrison because that's the tradition is to come here and to get a little glass of alcohol and cheers Jim Morrison and then to have a cheers to him. You were speaking about ghost, and you see it's very famous about that Jim Morrison has got a ghost who has been seen in the cemetery. Once there is a reporter from an American magazine, rock and roll reporter, and he came here and he made a report and he asked somebody to take him in the pictures, and he was in the pictures nearly like the man he's behind. I will show you the pictures of that. It's quite funny, Then you believe, you don't believe, that's another question. But let me show you the pictures. See, that the journalist. You see, he's standing. You see the pictures of the journalist. You see, he's standing right in front of that grave here. Okay, right here. And when the photographers developed the pictures, he realized something very funny. You see here, there is a kind of shadow. Let me show you. Here, I put a red spot around here. Look at it here. You see, there is a kind of shadow, like if it's Jim Morrison, who has got the two arms um, which are up, like a cross, and who could have been by him. So of course, lots of people say, "Oh, this is like a kind of Photoshop," but it's not a Photoshop because it's not digital pictures. It's pictures on the how can I say on with how we were doing before. Of course, it's maybe a reflection. It can be anything, but it's still very very strange. Say hi to Jim. And if you get a toast to Jim, you come with him and you get a toast to Jim. Here it is. Cheers. Thank you. He proposed me some, but I said no, thank you. Since the people said that it was in a bottle of water, but of course it wasn't water inside. Was this before or after his? That was. Well, he made a couple of toasts during the time I was here, so I think Jim Morrison is very happy because that man made just a couple of them, not only one. So today we do the visit of the cemetery at that level. I'm going to try to go a little bit upper to show you some of the graves, but I will do some another time, another tour to go to the upper part of the cemetery. So like that, you will be able to see some more graves that you may have seen or you could have seen in one of my other tour. And there is a very spectacular graves that I wanted to show you. Always here when you walk, you have to be careful because sometimes you walk on a grave without realizing. When I saw a photo of, yes, I'm sorry, Tom Petty took that actual photo that you just showed us. That's really, so it's him maybe. So I know. I have to be careful, because you easily walk on a grave. And I mean, even though some are not really maintained, it doesn't mean we can be bad to them. You see, when you see a grave like that, if you don't pay attention, you don't realize there is a grave here, and you walk on it, so then you realize it's not a stone, it's a grave. Uh, This family have got huge numbers of people. You see that one? And they prepare that's ooh, that's scary, no? Because they prepare some more names ready to welcome some of the people from the family. Mm. So we have to go up, as I said, and that the worst part for me is to climb the stairs. My pleasure. Have a great dinner party. So we climb, see, we climb. But you know, if somebody just arrived right now, he may think I'm in the park. We think, oh, I thought Patrick was going to give us a tour in the cemetery, and in fact, we are walking in a kind of park, a little bit messy, like a jungle. But not at all. So sorry if you hear me breathing a little bit loudly. It's because it's hot and and quite tiring. And this and suddenly, charm, you arrive in a little corner and you see statue like that. So imagine when it's getting dark in winter and you don't see very well. And you know, when you walk in the cemetery in winter, I promise you, I already did once for my. Oh, in fact, you know, that was my first real tour on Hego with my old gimbal, and I was followed on the tour. But oh, sorry, gosh, I forgot his name. One of the two founders. Okay. Anyway, he was following me and it was just catastrophic, you know. I didn't stop losing the connection. It was raining, pouring rain, you know, and I had my umbrella. It was windy. My umbrella didn't stop going up and down, and I couldn't make the tour, and that was so terrible. So, I, and he told me, "Okay, Patrick, I'm going to send you a gimbal because you can't do the tour like that." And finally, from that, I learned a lot from that tour, and that was here. So, and I promise you, it was quite frightening this day. So I just wanted to show, speaking about frightening and speaking about ghosts, I just want to show you one of the most scary grave in the cemetery, which is, sorry, I breathe back. So you see, more we go up, of course, more we are above the cemetery. You see, look now. And this is not the bottom, okay? There is, it's like stair. Okay. So we are going to arrive to one of the most scary grave, the grave of the Countess Davidoff. And that's a very scary grave because that lady was a Russian lady who migrated to France. And when she arrived to France, she was very rich. And she said, after my death, if somebody can sleep with me for 1 year in my graveyard, then he can inherit of my fortune. Ah, so some people try to do it, but never could stay very long. After a couple of days, a couple of weeks, they got out being like completely crazy, and needed to get mental support help. And so the fortune is still there. If somebody wants to try it, that is huge graves. You see? And we're going to go to the other side because that grave has something very interesting on it that I want to show you. First, if some of you want to go there, you have to push that door because that's where that's the entrance of the grave, okay? Where you see here the cross. So if some of you wants to go inside, you are the most welcome to go inside the location. I can't really make something which is just find here some from a spider, but that's inside. Okay, you see, yes, we see the spider things here. So you're interesting, and so I don't know how the fortune is because I don't know if nobody told it in that, but I mean the concourse went its way. Look, one of them became a snail. You say wildlife, you see there is snails. So what's also very interesting, because lots of people said she has got a ghost. Lots of people think this Mrs. Davidoff is in fact one of the ghosts of the cemetery, and she tried still walking in the night and trying to find some young men to bring with her in the graves. And she's supposed to be like, this man who, or ladies who turn when it's a full moon into a kind of vampire, this kind of animal. Because look, what is very interesting, the death, you see, like a wolf, like a wolverine, okay? You see the date, 8 April 1888. So in fact, you've got 3 times the number 8. And 888 is not the number of the devil, but it is the number of the Wolverine. So people said, well, this is a proof. And then, of course, when you look at the grave, and when you look how she decorated the graves, look, 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 look. What do you see on the graves? What do you see here? Here, here, here. Look, if I zoom out, you find a wolf head. You see? So all around the graves, oh, sorry for you, Natalie, but just 1/8, that's okay. And you see, there's wolf like that all over the graves. And so lots of people said this contest, in fact, walk in the street here and take to get some men. And they call her, the people who thinks about supernatural, they call her the lady in white, because she's supposed to walk in the street with a very beautiful body to attract the men, but being white. And sometimes, you don't want, but you can be attracted or you can be taken into a grave, you see? Look, because if you walk by here and suddenly you see her hands coming and taking you inside, and you go inside the graves, and now you are inside. See? And it's open. Look, here, it's open. So if you plunge here, yes, poof, you go inside the graves. So, if you remember Michael Jackson, when the people push up the different top of the grave, well, welcome here. So my friends, we're going to finish the tour in a couple of minutes. Of course, I will do once another time, and we will go to see some other grave, famous grave like Edith Piaf or Oscar Wilde or Balzac or many other graves, which are also Molière, La Fontaine, which are also part of the tour. Uh, but it's an incredible place. It's huge. It's huge. Since we started the tour, so for 45 minutes nearly, I don't stop walking up and up and up. And I'm not at the top of it. Okay, you can climb a little bit more the cemetery, and you will arrive to the newest part of the cemetery. You see, it's a good example. You see, look here. There is no graves. You see, the grave have been taken out, and they are ready to welcome a new one. And see here, unfortunately, somebody died. Very simple grave. 2019, they didn't even put 2009, didn't put a stone. They just put it here. But you see here, you've got 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space. In case I tell you. So always funny, no? I mean, always funny. Not funny, but always interesting to see how that cemetery can be incredibly moving and incredibly interesting. If I have time to reach one last grave I wanted to show you, but let me see how I have to go there. So I'm not sure I can reach it in short time. I just try to see if I can. It's on the left over there, so I'll just see if I can. You see that grave has got 2 hands. You see like the husband and the wife, which are joined by hand. No, I think I won't have time to reach it. Okay, my dear friends. So anyway, I'm been very happy to have done this tour with you. in this quite incredible cemetery. So next time I will come here, I will tell you in advance a bit more, like yesterday, short notice. For the 7th, I will be in Brittany, and so in fact I passed by Normandy, but I pass there late and I don't stop because I will be here. I leave Paris on the 6th, and so for the D-days, and I will drive by Normandy, but just pass by and then arrive to Brittany. And on Friday, I will be in Lamballe. I've been there with you maybe 2 years or 3 years ago. And it was a very nice tour, so I thought I could redo it. And it's a city which has lots of houses which are with wood beams. Very nice, very beautiful little city. So, my dear friends, thank you to having with me. Don't forget always to look at the YouTube channel because sometimes I forecast tour a little bit last moment when I've got an opportunity. And always I inform you, of course, in my newsletters. I hope you all of them have received the newsletters, and always some news in Paris. And I put the tour that I've already programmed. I wish you a very good time, and I will see you so Friday. And I hope you enjoyed. So, of course, if you enjoyed, thank you by advance for buy me a coffee or PayPal. That's a nice little donation for me. My dear friends, in the meanwhile, I say bye bye to you and thank you and have a great time. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.